ticket out. Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about. Well, the names have all changed since you hung around, but those dreams have remained and they've turned around. Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Back here where we need ya. Back here where we need ya. Yeah, we tease him a lot, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. 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 We always could spot a friend. Welcome back. And I smile when I think how it must have been. And I know what a scene you were learning in. Was there something that made you come back again? And what could ever lead you? What could ever lead you? Back here where we need you. Back here where we need you. Yeah, we tease him a lot, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. And I know what a scene you were learning in. Was there something that made you come back again? And what could ever lead you? What could ever lead you? Back here where we need you. Back here where we need you. Yeah, we tease him a lot, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, we tease him a lot. Welcome back. Welcome back. 'Cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, we tease him a lot, 'cause we got him.
Wow, good afternoon again. This is Pastor Harold K. Weber. I don't know if you guys hear that feedback that we're having. My engineer says you guys can't hear. This is Pastor Harold K. Weber, Senior Pastor of Livnway Christian Fellowship. We're just going to wait for a moment until some of you pop in online. I'm waiting for our trusted staff to bring us a couple of cups of refreshing water. Yeah, that's what we're going to have. And I'm here today with one of our members, friends. She's directing our reopening strategy, and that's Dr. Jana Webb-Delone. And we're going to talk about reopening. We're going to talk about the event that we have coming up this weekend, our parking lot service, and she's going to give you all the particulars of that. And I have some questions that I believe some of you may want answered. And we may even take a few questions online. I have my phone here, and we'll be able to take a few questions. We see a couple of you watching. I see my friend Silver is watching, and Jan is watching, and Cornelius is watching, and whoever else would like to pop on. Why don't you like and share this, because again, we've got big news about reopening, and Dr. Delone, again, who's directing our reopening efforts, she's here to answer any questions and to talk about, bring that in. This is my trusted stagehand, Joy, and yeah. And so we're all getting better and better at this. On the real shows, Joy, they use cups. They use cups because they never want you to know what's inside the cup. So since we only have water, it's all good. It's all good. But next time we'll use the Livnway cups that have Livnway on them, and that way it helps our brand. So we're gonna do cups next time. But anyway, Dr. Delone, thank you for taking time out of your schedule.
Thank you for the invitation. I appreciate it.
To be here. Thank you for leading the team in our reopening efforts. And what I want to do is, I'm going to pass it off to you in a minute, but we are excited about this Sunday, June the 7th, 10:30 a.m., right here in our parking lot. It's going to be the first of our gradual reopening, and we're also going to be celebrating communion that day. Our praise team is going to minister. All of you are going to come out and allow us to put your cars in position to see. Our dancers are going to be dancing. And I want to talk to you just about how we're going to do this. What's the plan? Talk about safety, what you're asking the congregation and those that will be with us that day to do. So without further ado, again, I want to reintroduce the good Dr. Jana Webb-Delone. Talk to us.
Thank you, Pastor. Thanks so for having me. We are excited. Excitement is building about our Sunday drive-in service. So I'm sure that many in the audience have heard about these services in the past. They've been going on in other states, in Southern California, and now Livnway is going to have their very own drive-in service. So we'll be able to worship together in our cars. So, someone said that, it's a step beyond worshiping online. That's great, and we're going to keep that. That's going to always be a part of our worship service. However, now this will give us an opportunity to come together and to, wave at a distance and blow a kiss at a distance and just be able to see each other and to appreciate each other at a distance. So that is, as Pastor said, this coming Sunday at 10:30. We are asking that no one arrive exceptionally early because the staff has to get here and set up everything. We're excited that we're going to have a platform. We're going to have the praise team and the band and maybe some dancers and communion service. So all that's going to take place. So all cars are welcome. Basically, we have a very large parking lot facility. We have a parking lot ministry. Our parking lot ministry and his team, the whole team, have a schematic of how they're going to set everyone up to give you a view of what's going to happen on the platform. However, I will say this. As we believers know, Corinthians says, faith comes by hearing. So we're hoping that Pastor, and I'm asking Pastor to move around quite a bit on the platform so everybody will be able to, see you. But the main thing is that we have an excellent sound team, and the sound team is going to make sure that you can hear, because faith comes by hearing. So we're going to make sure that you can hear from your car. We're asking everyone to come not before 9:30, 9:15, 9:30. Come around then, because we don't want you to sit in your car too long. So, come with whatever you need. If you want to, your pillow, or if you want your water, come with what you need in your vehicle. And then we'll have our parking lot ministry. They'll meet you at the top. We're on the 3rd tier of our facility. They'll meet you at the top. They'll have a little packet for you about the service. We have some safety standards so that everyone stays safe. The main thing is that everyone read the safety standards and just abide by them. If you do that, then everyone will stay safe. We're asking that you stay in your vehicle. Unless there's an emergency, we'd ask you to stay in your vehicle.
I thought that at one time we were thinking if they wanted to bring a lawn chair or something that they could come outside their vehicle as long as they're next to their vehicle. Will that be okay if they bring a lawn chair and they sit it in front of their vehicle and don't veer out of that social distancing parameter, which is 6 feet?
Right.
Now, question, Dr. Delone.
They can bring their lawn chairs.
They can bring their lawn chairs. And your mask. So are you suggesting that if they're going to be outside of their vehicle, that they wear their mask when they come out of the vehicle?
Yes. Anyone out of the vehicle, including all the ones that we're serving in ministry, will be, obviously, Pastor will be teaching, praise team will be singing. They won't. But everyone that's out of their vehicle that's serving for this event on Sunday, this coming Sunday, June 7th, 10:30 in our parking lot, everyone that's serving that's out of their vehicle will have a mask on. Some will have masks and gloves, some will just have masks. And that's just for the safety and protection of everyone, of the staff members, of the team, of everyone that's working. That's just for safety. If you have a lawn chair, you could bring a lawn chair. You won't be able to put it on the side of your vehicle, but you'll be able to put it in front of your vehicle or behind your vehicle. The reason for the lawn chair is so that you can hear, so that you can get out of your vehicle and hear, or you just might want to get some fresh air. You'll be distanced and spaced from cars where you can do that. Your lawn chair, though, cannot go by the driver or the passenger side of the car. It has to go in front or behind the car.
So our ministry team will make sure that all the space that's necessary for that to happen, that'll be in place. Now, the meteorologist, that's a,
Oh, yeah.
a long word for weather person. They say that we're going to have somewhat cool weather
Yes.
this weekend.
Very
so
favorable.
so God is
Yes.
God is good.
It's cooling off today and favorable. High is going to be 78.
Wow.
I checked today.
And
It's
so
high
at
is gonna be
10:30 it
78.
should not
It
be.
won't even be 78, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
So
wow,
nice.
this is the day
Yeah.
that we're going to be coming back together to see one another. I'm really excited about that, and we're doing things at the highest safety order that we possibly can. Now, because people are going to be staying in their cars, and I know that it seems like our seniors just have a greater risk. Would it be okay if our seniors came out at that time as well, if they're going to remain in their cars?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Everyone is welcome. You're welcome to bring your family, your entire family, just kind of pack up like you're going on a road trip, kind of, even though you're just coming for church service. It's an outing, it's a way for us to worship together and fellowship. And, you may not be able to get out of your car and go hug somebody or touch somebody or, high five somebody, but you could do that from your window. You could say, I'm praying for you. Look, I'm praying for you, or I love you. You can say that through the window and people will know. You could pray for somebody in the next car. You never know. Just, you can do all of that by us just being together. I think it just be an exciting time for people to see each other. People, miss fellowshipping.
So many people are online are saying, hi, Dr. Jana. So you might just want to
hi.
You might want to say hi to them. They're not saying hi, Pastor.
Everyone.
They're saying hi, Dr. Jana. So they obviously you're the main ticket here. What are you suggesting? What about people that are experiencing some symptoms? Would you recommend that they stay home even though we're going to be out
in our vehicles,
outdoors?
Yeah. If you're having symptoms.
What kind of symptoms?
Okay, let's go through those. If you're having symptoms, fever, cough, chills, body aches, headache, sore throat, loss of taste or smell, in some patients, younger patients, rash. If you're having any symptoms, it's best to stay home. You should probably be on a stay-in or a quarantine order already if you're having any of those symptoms. If anyone in your household has had those symptoms, generally you need to be in as well. So if you're not feeling well and you have any of those symptoms I mentioned, it would probably be better for you just to stay in. You'll recover better just by staying in at your home and, just following the precautions that you should, at home.
Sure. So even if they're not feeling well, they can't use the car as a protective device of some sort. So if you're not feeling well, stay at home. We're going to broadcast online, so you won't miss it. So if you're not feeling well, or if you're uncomfortable getting out, I know a lot of our seniors just have been really uncomfortable and they're not ready to leave outside their home, and folks have been delivering their groceries. And so, but if you're ready to come out, we're encouraging you. We're going to praise the Lord up in this parking lot. I'm believing to see the Spirit of God move in this parking lot. Even if he shakes this parking lot, we'll be okay. Say, Pastor, are you predicting an earthquake? I don't mean shake in that sense of the word. Maybe shake us a bit to where we, again, just have an extra dose of the anointing. So I'm excited about that. Now, we're going to be gradually moving towards welcoming our entire congregation back in. Can you talk about what's going to go on that day? Because we're planning to do that July the 5th, which is a Sunday. We're going to have communion. Can you talk about the safety precautions and the screening process that's going to go on that day when we finally get back in here together?
My pleasure, Pastor, my pleasure. So we have a reentry team, a fabulous team, about 15, 16 people. You all probably know most of them or someone on the team. And what we're planning on doing is we're having phases. Phase one really is the drive-in on Sunday. This Sunday, 10:30, is the drive-in service. So that's kind of phase one. And then there'll be some time in between where we'll do some piloting. We'll do some mock trials where we have some people
Maybe our leadership
team come
some
in.
of the ministry team
Right,
people.
to make sure everything runs smoothly. We'll do that one Sunday, and then, but the day you want to keep in mind is Sunday, July 5th. Sunday, July 5th. It's the day after 4th of July.
And we'll have two services.
Yes, two
We'll have two services that
Excellent.
day.
Two
We'll have a
services,
9
yes.
a.m. and a 10:30 a.m.
Exactly,
service
exactly.
because we're, as you can see in our sanctuary, we've spread all our
Right.
chairs around so that we can adhere to the social distancing guidelines. They will only allow us at this point to have only 100 participants in the sanctuary because we want to maintain 6 feet or more, and we're doing that. But if things change, maybe the Governor Newsom comes out with, or our local ordinances come out with, that we can have more in,
Yep.
and then we'll expand that. And so we're going to make sure that we reach out to you. So we want to maybe schedule or register people that we know that are
Right,
going to be
right,
here.
right.
So, but anyway, talk about the questions, talk about how to make yourself ready to come back on July
right.
the 5th.
So we want it to be powerful spiritually, and we want it to be effective administratively. And we want it to run as smooth as silk. So there'll be some changes, okay? Church, as you knew it, will be a little different for some time, for a period of time. For example, you have to practice social distancing before you come in. There'll be a temperature check area. It'll be very clearly marked. You know, you go from the station of waiting until this station, have your temperature taken before you come in. We want to make sure that no one has a temperature. If you should have a temperature, you will be talking to someone, one of the medical staff, regarding that, because certain temperatures are indicative that not that you have COVID, but that you have a temperature. So we want to make sure that everyone that's in the sanctuary is safe. As Pastor said, social distancing has already been put together here. We had the staff separate the chairs for social distancing, and that it should put everybody's mind at ease that you won't be close to another family. Again, everyone will be wearing masks when you come in. Again, it's just a precaution. Everyone with temperature would have been checked. Everyone would have gone through a screening. We have a screening where we ask you 4 or 5 simple questions about your travel, about your family, that kind of thing, simple things. It should take a family less than a minute to be screened with the temperature, going through the screening process, and come in and get seated. So in church, we will request that you wear a mask. Again, everything is in phases. As I've been telling the reentry team and telling others, viruses have seasons, viruses have cycles. We don't know what they are exactly, but they all have cycles. Pandemics, they all end. They end. They don't go on forever. They all end. They have to come to an ending. Every pandemic that there's ever been, this is not the first pandemic, maybe the first one that we lived through, but it's not the first pandemic there's ever been. So you have to realize a virus has a cycle. All viruses have a certain cycle.
So when I come up, you guys are going to take my temperature, and you're going to ask me some questions.
Yes.
I've got my mask. I've become comfortable with the mask lately. So you're going to ask me some questions. I'm going to have on a mask. What are you going to ask me?
So we're going to ask you questions about have you had any temperature, any fever in the last 2 weeks?
You just took my temperature, right?
Right,
So I'm
right.
good.
So and we're going to ask you, had you had any previous 2 weeks? So right now you're fine, but had you had any previous 2 weeks?
Okay.
We're going to ask you questions about, do you have any symptoms, any of the following symptoms? Any cough, chills, body aches, loss of taste, loss of smell? Do you have any of those? And then about your travel. And anyone else in your family are they ill right now?
I'm going to tell you, Dr. Jana, when the coronavirus pandemic first came out, I mean, people were like tripping out because, you know, I had the sniffles. Sometimes you go, well, I did have a sniffle.
I know, I coughed.
I
I
did
coughed
have
2
a cough. I did cough 2 times. Do I have the Rona? And so sometimes, you know, is there something particular about the cough or the sniffle? Is it consistent? Because some people have hay fever, and they think they got Rona. They think they got Rona.
No, it's very confusing because it happened during flu season. Flu season is usually October until April, May. So all this happened at the same time as influenza A and B. So both of these viruses are correct, along with just the regular adenovirus, rhinovirus. Those are just technical names for common cold. So all of these things were happening at the same time. So you could have had a sniffle, you could have had an allergy or something, you could have sneezed 12 times or something like that. No, it's not that. It could just be something that was in the environment. It could be that you were cooking and the pepper got there, you know. So it's not everything. It's not. Corona is very, very specific. And the only difference from it and the influenza virus, The breathing problems are worse.
Okay, so if you've got
Respiratory
breathing
problems,
issues,
right.
you really
You have
want to.
Yes, so if you're someone with a chronic lung condition, then you are a little bit at higher risk. Asthma, bronchitis, you've had pneumonia, COPD, emphysema, you're a smoker. I mean, any of those things would put you at a higher risk. Your lungs are compromised, and so
Okay.
that puts you at a higher risk. And that's the basic difference. It's really hard for us to tell, even in our clinics and hospitals, the difference between the two initially.
But we'd rather be safe than sorry.
Yes,
So if you have any
yes,
of those,
yes.
we may turn some people away
Right.
if you've had persistent
Right.
coughing.
Right.
Obviously, if you spike a temperature,
Right.
If you've been around people that have been diagnosed.
Right,
So if
recently diagnosed,
so don't
Right.
get all bent out of shape, talking about your rights and talking about, you always cough.
And it's a free country.
We're going to send you home. Or you can, go back to your car and watch it
Yes, it
online.
will, yeah.
Now, they tell me, and, I listen, obviously right now people are news junkies because there's a lot going on.
is. It
Even with
is.
our protests,
It is.
people are forgetting all about social distancing because I've been at a couple of protests and people were 2 inches apart. They tell me some people have had, I call it the coronavirus, I call it short. But they say some people have had COVID-19 and not even knew they had it.
Right. There are cases where people have been completely asymptomatic.
What does that mean? You have no
they
symptoms?
have no symptoms.
Okay.
They had no symptoms of it, but their body thinks that it's had it, and their body has formed antibodies to it to fight it off should it come back. So their body builds an immunity, so to speak, to
Wow.
it. And then there are people with mild symptoms. So there's categories: asymptomatic, no symptoms; mildly symptomatic, where you just have a few of the symptoms, and then they're just like full blown that you had a myriad. You have multiple symptoms, and I mean, I would behoove you to get tested. There's still testing sites. The testing sites are there so that you can be tested. So it would be, wonderful if you have any questions about it. Not in fear, go out and be tested. But if you have any symptoms, I would say be tested for it. If you've had no symptoms, I go into work every day. They test me before I come in. If I leave the building, they test me when I come back in. And I've had no symptoms.
No, they actually do the test the nasal?
No.
They do the survey.
The
temperature.
The temperature test, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
One good thing too is, and that's why I think that churches and houses of worship were open, that the government did that release for 25% capacity or 100 people, is because the numbers are decreasing in our county and it's kind of plateauing. They're not zero, but they are decreasing. They want the numbers to be 25 positive COVID tests out of 100,000. We're not there yet. We're hovering around 100, 115. So they wanted to be less. And as time goes on, what we would love to happen is for it to go from 25% capacity of your building to 50 to 75
Sure.
to full. And that's why everything is done in phases. Everything is done in phases. But California has, less cases than it did 2 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. Our county has less cases, and our neighboring county, San Bernardino.
So we're getting better. Now, they talk about asymptomatic. So does that mean even if I don't have symptoms, that I could actually be contagious?
You can. You can actually.
So that's why we want to stay
Right.
social distancing.
Right. That's why we want to do social distancing, and we want to wear a mask. So we, just get used to your mask. I, got these decorative masks. I tell friends, I tease about it, that I got a mask budget now. I got a budget for my money for masks, so that you can have masks. So, and if not, we have masks. So when we open, don't come because you don't have a mask. We will have masks available for you. If you want, we'll have gloves available for you.
Got hand sanitizer.
Right. And the thing that everyone needs to know, Pastor, this is really important. This facility will be completely sanitized. Completely sanitized. We have a team that will be doing the work, that has worked with us for years already, but now is doing extra sanitation. So this facility is a clean facility. This facility is a COVID compliant facility. When you come back here, you don't have to worry about things being, on surfaces, in the air. We will comply with everything. Hand washing, face masks, social distancing, moving the chairs where we need to move the chairs, keeping people flowing in one way, flowing out another way. So we have a whole schematic, and we have a whole team, and we all just want to come back, and be in the sanctuary together. But you need to keep in your mind, this facility is clean. It's clean.
Amen.
It's sanitized, not just clean, because there's a difference between cleaning and sanitizing. So cleaning, you take the germs, you just wipe them off. You get some of the germs off. Sanitizing, you kill them.
Right.
You kill them, you nuke them, you get them off, and you kill them. So it will be sanitized, not just clean.
We nuking germs,
nuking
right?
the germs. Yeah, we killing everything.
We're gonna nuke some
We killing
germs.
everything.
So round is, if you come with some germs, you leaving without germs, because you're gonna get nuked. Now, we're even gonna have, again, a new normal, as far as we're not gonna have a lot of people in the restrooms at one time.
Right.
We're gonna be monitoring that. We're having people go in and sanitize during certain intervals, like you see in some of the department stores. It's on the wall there. They sign off when they've gone in every 15 minutes, and so there won't be gangs and gangs of people. You'll see decals on the floor when people come in about social distancing. So I'm excited. I'm excited about that, and I know you're a Spirit-filled believer. I think with all the things that are going on right now, protest in the streets, we need, our team is telling us something to do here, and we can't figure it out. What are you guys telling us to do? You're pointing, talk to us. Somebody's got a question.
Oh.
Well, that's the question. Oh, there's a question on the screen. Okay, we told you guys, you can just chime
Sorry,
in.
we're new at this.
We're new at this, but what was I saying? With all the protests and things going on right now, I think it's good for us to be getting ready to come back to church.
Okay, it is.
We
do.
We need that fellowship. We need to encourage one another.
I'm praying that we'll be able to move from phase one in a month's time or less, phase two, phase three, that we'll actually be able to move, through this. Now, not to say that COVID's in season, so not to say COVID won't come back in January, February, whatever, but to get through the season that we're in right now. So we do have a question.
Now, the question is, how long will I have to wear the mask? Now, I'm assuming they're talking about in church, because I know some people get a little claustrophobic
Right.
if they don't have a designer mask like me that breathes freely. If you got one wherever you got it from, it can make your face hot.
Right.
And some people, they feel claustrophobic.
Yeah.
And I guess they want to know if they need a little air, can they take the mask off for a second and put it back on? I don't know what the question is, but what they wrote was, how long do I have to wear the mask?
So entering the facility, you would have to wear the mask. During the church service, you have to wear the mask, and all from beginning to end and all the way out. Now, if you need to take it off your nose, the mask should be worn. I'll give you an example. The mask should be worn. I'll go over my little cute earrings, like this, so that it covers, and many of them go up like this, over your nose and your mouth, like this, like so. So any mucous membrane should not be out. That would be, well, our eyes are mucous membranes, but we have the ability to close those really quick. Your nose, your mouth, and your eyes. So you want to cover mucous membrane. If you're getting hot, because sometimes the cloth ones are hot, especially if they have velvet in them or they're double or triple, you can just flip it down and take a couple.
Get a little air.
Yeah, cover your mouth, and just get some air. Get a little air, and just, if you have some water in your purse, you can sip water real quick. Just put the mask back on. So, just as long as you're covering those. If you get hot, you can take it down. Now, if you overheat, you need to raise your hand if you're in church, so that someone will be able to come to you, one of our security or one of our greeters or ushers can be able to come and help you out if you're overheating. That's something that's different. Now, if you leave the facility during church, and you would have to go through the process again of getting your temperature taken, and before you be allowed back in, and you have to come back in again with the mask. Paper masks tend to not be quite as hot as the cloth mask, so that's something you might want to think about. They're all different types of layers of masks, all different quality of masks. So as long as it's covering the main mucous membrane, obviously we can't come in blindfolded. So this is a mucous membrane, your nose and your mouth, but you have to cover your nose completely and your mouth.
Okay, so like I've got my mask on now. Can you hear me? I know I sound a little muffled,
I can hear you.
but I'm able to articulate.
Right.
I'm articulating through my mask.
Yes,
and so,
yes.
If there are any questions, please. Oh, that's not a question.
That's
saying if there are any questions that they can ask. So I don't know, Dr. Jana, there is a question. Can I bring a friend to the opening service or the drive-in service? I mean, I don't see why not.
By all means, you can bring a friend. Again, their temperature will be taken. They'll be pre-screened with the questionnaire, and they'll have to wear a mask as well, and they have to come in one way and go out one way. And it'll be very clear, the way that they need to do that. So, yes, definitely.
So we can't bring visitors.
We're doing a couple of things, though, Pastor. This is really good, because we're going to be screening screening questionnaire, screening with temperatures, having our mask, and having social distancing. So, I mean, we're doing quadruple duty because we're doing every little step. And 5, our facility's clean. It's sanitized, not just clean, it's sanitized. So,
Okay. And also, it's going to be kind of chilly because we're keeping
Yes.
the air on.
Right.
We want to
Open the
keep the
vents.
ventilation
Open 'em.
flowing.
Yeah.
There's another question. Will there be children's church available when we open? Not the first Sunday. We're going to bring all of our families together here in the sanctuary. We're going to observe communion, and we will have the safety sealed communion items. They're all together. You'll receive them when you come in. And again, so at that time, oh, these are the safety sealed communion items. That's cute. They got the communion. They got the little wafer. You got to open it up.
all inclusive.
All inclusive.
All inclusive,
And then you open it
yeah.
up and it's right in there. The little wafer's right there.
On
And
top, yeah.
I'm not going to take communion right now, but I'm just showing you guys it's all inclusive. Got your little juice there and your wafer, all inclusive, all clean. And we're just going every measure that we can to be safe and even above and beyond the CDC guidelines. So it's going to be exciting. My mask hasn't gotten hot yet, so I'm good. I'm just gonna keep it on.
Okay.
I'm just gonna keep my
Okay.
mask on.
Absolutely.
So, but
absolutely.
you had your temperature taken and everything today, you're good?
I did 3 times
Okay,
today.
I'm good,
I didn't
okay.
work today, but I still had to take it 3 times.
But I'm gonna keep my mask on anyway.
Right. I
Don't take
went-
it personal.
No, it's
I'm gonna
okay.
keep my mask
3
on.
times. I'm always, 97.8 or something. But anyway, all day,
Okay.
3 times I've had it taken today.
What's
so-
normal temperature?
That's
What's
a good
normal?
question. 98.6. However, if you are under the age of 65 and you come in, you have a temperature of 100.1. That's considered a temperature. 100.1, not 101 and 101. 100.1. And then if you're over 65, however, that's a little bit lower.
Okay.
We're gonna screen at 99.4.
99.4
99.4.
if you're over 65.
Yes, 99.4.
Okay.
So it's just that you have a lower tolerance, and sometimes you can have a temperature at an elderly
Hey, is
person.
Cornelius around? Hey, while
So-
we're under these lights, I wonder if I could take my temperature. Find a temperature deal. Somebody find a temperature thing and
And the reason being too is that
a glove, bring a glove too. I'm gonna let Dr. DeLone take my temperature.
The
Well, it might be a
older-
little hot. I'm under these lights. I might be hot.
yeah, that's the thing too, is that depending on summer, summers are hot because we live in the desert.
Yeah.
So I would ask people once church gets started back, don't rush in your car and not use the air in your car and rush into church and rush in to get in line, that kind of thing. Cool down. Cool
Okay.
down for a minute because your temperature could be really hot on a hot day, but it's just the heat of the day and not that you have a fever. Not
Look,
that you necessarily
watch me answer this medical question.
Okay.
Then you follow up. I'm just a test. It says, at what phase will we no longer need the mask?
That's what they want to know.
And I'm going to
That's what
say,
they
I'm not a medical professional at all. Dr. Jana is going to follow up. I'm just trying to use a little common sense. I don't think there is a phase. I think we look at it as we go because there could be spikes. We could see, because people are out protesting, that there might be a spike, and so we might have to reapply the mask again. So I don't know what phase, but again, I'm gonna defer that question over to Dr. Jana.
So
You
the
bring me
answer to
that
that
in a
question
glove.
is actually no one actually
Can I have a
knows.
glove?
But I will say
Not your
this,
glove.
there are states where they're not using it, but there's states where their numbers were not large because the population was not large. Or they may not have been testing as many people as we are here. It depends on our county and the surrounding counties. If there's a spike, like in San Bernardino,
Okay.
which is a neighboring county, or there's a spike in LA County, any county that touches our county, then that could mean that we have to wear a mask longer. Now, I would say this, I actually went to a different state, and they are masked as, they're wearing a mask based upon if you want the mask. They no longer have to wear a mask in some states in the United States. So not every state has to actually wear a mask. So in California, we're so populated, and we started we received our testing kits a little bit later than some other places because we have so many people to test. So I don't know how long we'll have the mask on, and if there's something that happens, then we'll put the mask back on. At some point we will, but can we say a date? No, I can't tell you a date, I can't tell you a phase, but at some point, we will take our mask off.
All right, so I got that
And,
answer. I got
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Now, there's a thermometer, there's gloves if you like, And now I'm under this light.
Right.
Because I don't have Rona. I do not have Rona.
Right.
But I'm under this light.
We're going to get some large gloves.
Large gloves. Those are
we,
medium
brother?
or small.
Because
we need
these
to
are
order some
mediums or
large.
small, and there's nothing in my body that's small since
Okay.
birth. So
Well, you know, Doctor.
never been small.
Dr.
I'm not
Jana.
extra large, but I've never been small. I'm okay with that.
Well, you know what? You're a
But I'm-
medical professional,
but I'm a
and you got to
healthy-
bring your own gloves.
I'm a healthy.
What you bring your own gloves?
I'm a healthy large.
You
I'm
got
a
to have
healthy
your
large.
own gloves with
You're
you.
right. You're right.
Your
You know,
own
I probably
size.
do in the car.
Look,
Probably
we're
do some-
complaining about our little church gloves.
No, I'm complaining about my hands, Pastor. I ain't complaining about the
Well,
gloves.
you need to bring your own gloves. You should have gloves with you. You're a doctor. You should have gloves with you.
I
at
should have
all
walked up
times.
my stethoscope, my
Amen. All of that. You
gloves,
should
my
have kept it
surgical
right.
lamp, everything
Right. I
up.
keep a Bible with me. Now, look, I'm warm, but you got to take my
know,
temperature. Do you know how to
I
work
know.
that thing?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
I think I do.
okay.
I think I do. If not, Cornelius gonna come over here working. If not, Cornelius gonna come over here working.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. You good, Pastor? You 98? I'm sorry, 96, 96.9.
96.9.
96.
Tune in to
FM.
FM. Tune in to Sirius Radio.
You might-
96.9.
Sure, you might have to stop this. You might have to stop this.
Okay. Dr. Delone, this has
Tell
been
me.
such a delight. I really appreciate you coming on and sharing with us. And I am so excited about this weekend. Livnway. Get excited about
excitement's
this
building. We're
parking
coming
lot
back.
service. There are a lot
Coming
of people
back.
that have put a lot of work in or coming back. You heard earlier they put on the tune. I got these youngsters in the engineering booth. They put on "Welcome Back, Kotter." That's what they had playing.
Were they even born?
I grew up.
Were
They
they
didn't
even
even
born?
weren't born when "Welcome Back, Kotter" and Harshack and Benny Barbarino and Freddie Boom Boom
exactly.
Washington
Boom Boom.
and Mr. Carter.
Mr. Carter.
Mr. Carter. Who was the guy that did the Mr. Carter? He was the goofy one. He was Horshack.
Okay, yeah, that's right, that's right.
that
Oh,
was
wow.
Horshack.
Gotcha.
See, I got all of that, really.
yeah.
But anyway, guys, Dr. Delone, thank you so much.
So welcome. You're so
For your
welcome.
time today. Livnway, thank you so much for tuning in. We're looking forward to and we're excited about June 7th at 10:30 a.m. Come
That's
at
Sunday. That's
9:45 this Sunday. Again, we're not going to have our restroom facilities open to the public, only in an emergency situation. So take care of whatever business you have to before you get here.
Come a little later, maybe, yeah.
But again, if push comes to shove and we have to, we will. But I am looking so forward to seeing you. God bless you. Thank you, Dr. Delone.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Livnway Christian Fellowship. And remember,
See you
I
Sunday.
love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. See you Sunday. God bless you.